everyone, yeah. She always posts pictures. She always posts pictures.
I don't know if Alyssa's going to need to put this up there or just take it up with me.
Probably hand it to her. I put mine up there. Her and Maura have one.
I think so. They invited me to come sit, and he's like, okay, go ahead in. Like, I was just taking my ticket money, so like, hey, if you're vice president of something at the university. Who knows? That was like student affairs or something. I don't really remember exactly what it was. We just had a bunch of meetings and started like moving on to the next person in there.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome the faculty and staff, family and friends, and fellow students to the University of Evansville as we celebrate the Doctor of Physical Therapy program's 5th annual White Coat Ceremony. We are very excited to have the opportunity to continue this tradition in honor of the DPT students here at UE. This ceremony signifies the transition of these students into the professional program. The white coat that they will be receiving is a symbol of their commitment to their future patients, as well as a symbol of compassion and excellence that they will strive for when treating those patients. Although many of you may choose not to wear your white coats, allow it to remain a symbol of your achievements and a constant reminder of your dedication to this profession and its core values of accountability, altruism, compassion and caring, excellence, integrity, professional duty, and social responsibility. The growth and progress of physical therapy worldwide makes this an exciting time to be entering the profession. Our hope is that this ceremony will inspire you, while at the same time remind you of your duty as a professional and the responsibility that comes with it. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and students, I would like to thank you all for being here today to make this ceremony possible, and to recognize the professionalism and dedication of these students as they enter the DPT program. I'm now going to invite Dr. Kiesel up to the podium for the introduction of the faculty.
Okay, good afternoon. Happy to be here and share the ceremony with you, and thanks for coming. My role is to introduce the faculty, and first of all, I'd just like to mention a couple of guests that are with us today. We have the Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Michael Austin, here with us. As well as the Dean of the College of Education and Health Sciences, Mary Kessler. Mary is a physical therapist and was the chair of our program for 17 years, and now she is our dean, so we're very happy to have Mary as well. My name is Kyle Kiesel. I am a professor here and now the director of the DPT program and chair of the Department of Physical Therapy. I'm in my 17th year. My interests include research in injury prevention and motor control. My dissertation work was related to core function, and then we moved into injury prevention and prediction, and now with several student groups that I have, we're doing some studies on breathing and breathing dysfunction, so very excited about that. I teach scientific inquiry, so research-oriented classes, and a little bit still in the musculoskeletal sequence, as well as practice outpatient therapy. I've published almost 30 articles, and as part of what we do, our global call for the university, I'm able to travel quite a bit, and I've presented research or taught seminars in 19 different countries, so I'm on the road quite a bit. Next is our operations administrator, Jennifer Simon. Jennifer just started with us in our department in February, and so we're very excited to have Jennifer with us. She is an outstanding professional. She does all kinds of things, as you can see, with her responsibilities, including everything from marketing and managing the budget to advising our undergraduate students that are aspiring PTs. She handles all of our visits and does a tremendous job. So we're very excited to have Jennifer with us. We have Zurei Chen. Zurei was unable to join us today. She's an assistant professor. She's in her 4th year. Her PhD is a specialty degree from the University of Oregon with a specialization in gait and balance and postural control. So she teaches in the neurorehabilitation geriatric section in our tests and measures. She's involved in a variety of research projects, including balance and fall prevention is her main line. She has a fall prevention program going at the university here, and has had several awards, as you can see. She is just a wonderful person, and she, in her time at Oregon, was that region, so that it was like I guess it would be the Northwest region table tennis champ for the United States, so she's an accomplished table tennis player as well. Bethany cannot be here either. Bethany is on maternity leave, so she is in her 3rd year. We're just excited to have Bethany with us. She teaches in medical pathology in the musculoskeletal area, and she's the assistant director of our sports residency program. So that has been a very successful residency that's an option for students after they finish the DPT degree. She's involved with that program in her clinical practice at rehab. She has a variety of injury prevention programs that she administers in the area to high school athletes, and gives the students and residents an opportunity to share in that, and has presented that in a variety of venues across the country. And she is a piano player, a golfer, and right now a mother. So excited for Bethany. Very happy to introduce Scott Jones. Dr. Jones is a brand new faculty member with us. He just got here from his 20-year career in the Air Force. He was a Air Force physical therapist, and during that time had a variety of leadership positions, many of which had direct applications to education, and many things that are very not directly related to education. So we're very excited to have Scott here and bring those interests here. I guess probably the only problem is we're not as close to the West Coast as he was in California. I want to say it was pretty much in his back door, so I think he and the family are missing the coast. And I do appreciate his sense of humor. If you notice at the bottom, his personal interests include mosquito repellent. Very good. So welcome, Scott. Janice Kidder is our administrative assistant. Janice is in her 4th year in the department. She has a bachelor's degree from the University of Southern Indiana, and has worked so hard to help everyone keep things going in the right direction and keep everything organized, including faculty, staff, and students. So very, very happy to continue to have Janice in our department. Lynn Ming is an assistant professor. She got her PhD from the University of Delaware, one of really the top PhD programs for physical therapists in the country. Very excited to have Lynn with us. She's in her 2nd year. She does motor control research and neuroimaging in pediatrics and kids with disabilities. So she teaches in that area, in the motor control area. She has already 6 peer-reviewed publications just in her 2nd year here, and she's been to 10 different international conferences. So she's a well-accomplished researcher already, and very excited she's here, and she plays tennis. Dr. Tink Martin. Tink is in her 35th year at the University of Evansville. She obviously has been an extremely important part of our faculty over the years. And just so happy that Tink is with us. If you look through her degrees from the University of Kentucky, the University of North Carolina, and Duke, I struggle with her at March Madness, who she cheers for. But she teaches in the pediatrics and adult neuro areas, and she's been practicing for 33 years treating pediatric patients with disabilities in the area. She has had a number of leadership positions and awards in her career, including the president of the section of pediatrics for our national organization. Very, very obviously happy to still have Tink with us. Kyle Matzel is another brand new professor. He's in his first year with us. Kyle is a graduate of the DPT program here, and he went through the residency program here. He will teach musculoskeletal and orthopedic areas, and he still practices outpatient PT here at Pro Rehab. He is starting his PhD program soon. He's looking at a variety of programs, and will get engaged in his PhD training. And he has done a lot of teaching and consulting. He just got back within 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, of working with a professional sports team, the Miami Dolphins. So he does a lot of consulting already. Phil Plisky is an associate professor here with us. He just got promoted and promoted to associate professor in tenure. So congratulations, Phil, on that. He's also the director of the Eykamp Center for Teaching Excellence. That is a university-wide supporting office for teaching excellence. So new faculty members learn the ins and outs of the classroom and really effective teaching methods from Phil and his group there. So we're glad that he represents our department in that way. He does teaching in musculoskeletal area and leadership and practice administration, and he is the director of the sports residency program that's now in its 10th year. He's involved in a variety of research projects with injury prevention and has developed injury prevention tools. He has done a lot with military injury prevention. In fact, still is, I think, in his third study with our military to try to reduce injuries in the military. So he's very active in that. And he too does a lot of consulting with a variety of other militaries and professional sports teams. In fact, probably the most he's done with recently is the last 3 years they've done testing for the Milwaukee Brewers, as well as the last 2 or 3 years with NHL in their combine testing in hockey. He's a husband and father of 4 and enjoys outdoor activities. Kate Schwarzkopf-Pfeiffer is an assistant professor. She's in her 2nd year. She teaches a variety of things. She helps in musculoskeletal. She teaches in the scientific inquiry sequence and the wellness, as well as community health. She is working on her PhD, nearing the end of that, getting ready for her dissertation phase. So she is very busy with that. She does outpatient practice at RPI in Owensboro, and she is also a mother of 3 triathletes, so she is very busy. And I just want to recognize 2 faculty members that you already know, so this is an introduction. Dr. Don Rod, who has been helping with the physical therapy education for several years, teaching gross anatomy for us in the summers. And maybe more important than that, or as important than that, he's taught many of you and has advised many of you in the exercise science department, where many of you have degrees. So thanks for Dr. Rod, who's with us today. And Kathy Liu, also assistant professor in the School of Public Health. Kathy teaches a biomechanics class for us in the summer, so she got to know the students right away, and similar in that she teaches anatomy and physiology and other classes for many of our students in the exercise science degree as they prepare to move into the DPT program. So a special thank you to Don and Kathy for all they've done for our program. And that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Kiesel. I would now like to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Phil Plisky.
All right. Welcome. Congratulations. This is a great time. This is an exciting time. I was asked to speak on the things that I thought would cause someone to be successful in our PT program or in PT programs in general. But I got to be honest, I'm not going to talk about what I feel. I'm a researcher and a teacher, and so I'm going to talk about the research and what it says. But I try not to be boring. All right, first quiz of the year. All right, so fall semester, grab the paper underneath you. There's paper and pencil there. Like I said, I'm an academician, so we're going to start off on this. So you guys can also take this quiz, but you don't have the paper because you won't be graded. So here we go. So we're gonna look at a bunch of statements, and we're going to say, I strongly agree with this statement, I agree with the statement, disagree with the statement, or strongly disagree with the statement. Okay, so we're going to kind of give you a scale there. You have to put a mark in the box. All right, you guys ready for that? You got it? Okay, cool. All right, music skill can be learned by anyone. So do you strongly agree, strongly disagree, or somewhere in the middle? Music skill can be learned by anyone. Only a few people will be truly good at sports. You've got to kind of be born with it. And I want you to write down your gut reaction, not what you think is the right answer. Okay, write down gut reaction, because again, they're going to start thinking about it and all. No, we're just going to write it down. Trying new things is stressful for me, and I tend to avoid this. I try to avoid this. New things are stressful, really anxiety-producing, and so I avoid them. I tend to go towards things I'm really good at. You can learn new things, but you really can't change how intelligent you are. So while everybody can learn, everybody can grow, really intelligence is somewhat a fixed quantity there. And an important reason why I do my schoolwork is that I like to learn new things. Now be honest. Right, I know where this is going. Like, is he grading it? Is he going to turn it in? Because I don't want to be that person. No, be honest. And then finally, truly smart people do not need to try hard. Truly smart people do not need to try hard. Okay? And so, a PT student, they're kind of like driven people. I don't know if you know this as family members and friends. Like they're going to a little bit. So they want to know how they did. Right, already. Like they're sitting there like, well, how did I do? And I'll actually tell you that's the wrong question. Okay? But I'll let you score it. Okay? So what you have to do is you have to put, there's a score column there on the right. Put the number that matches your answer. Okay? So you got 3, 2, 1, so you got to look up there. So this is actually our first weed out process. So we're going to kind of watch here and see what happens. How do they react to this? Can they actually look at the screen and then look down at their paper and score things right? Okay? And as they're doing this, let's talk a little bit about what the scores mean. And when we look at how you did, okay, there's 18 possible points. If you notice, oh, you guys aren't done yet? Failed. All right, let's get you more time. Okay, raise your hand when you're not done. Oh, wait. Because they want to know how they did, right? And we all want to do well. But if you'll notice, some of the questions are scored differently. All right? You're going to see a pattern there. There's a pattern in how the questions are scored. Music can be learned by anyone, versus truly smart people do not need to try hard. All right? New situations, new things I'm not good at make me anxious. So when we look at this, 18 possible points. If you're on the high end, if you're at the upper end of that, you have what's called a strong growth mindset. If you're on the low end, you have more of a fixed mindset. Well, which is good and which is bad, right? That's what they want to know, right? Of course, the higher score is better. No, it's not necessarily that. And most of you will find that you kind of fell in the middle a little bit, all right? So kind of a growth mindset with some fixed ideas, or a fixed mindset with some growth ideas. Your natural question now should be, well, what's a fixed mindset and what's a growth mindset, and how does it have to do with me? Well, really, a fixed mindset basically says things like intelligence, skill, all that are just what we have. They're in our DNA, they're genetically programmed, and that's all we've got. Okay? And we can develop those things a little bit, but some people are gifted in some areas, some people are gifted with being smart, some people are gifted with being athletic, and some people are really gifted at music, art, and we all definitely have different gifts and different predispositions. But somewhat your attitude toward those can give you an idea of a fixed versus growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, I have these things, and being successful is a demonstration of those things. So I'm smart, and doing well on an exam shows how smart I am. right? That's a fixed mindset. Not necessarily bad or good, but it's certainly a mindset. Now, a growth mindset, on the other hand, thrives on challenge and sees failure as this evidence of, not of intelligence, but it's as this idea that, man, failure's okay. Failure shows that I'm learning. And so, how does this apply to physical therapy school? Adopt a growth mindset. That's your first action point. So adopt a growth mindset. This is different than undergraduate education. Okay? It's a lot different. And you have to fail. You have to kind of look at things and go, I'm okay failing. For high achievers, this is one of the hardest things to grasp. Right? Like, it is just one of these things that you're just like, but I've been perfect all my life. Why am I failing now? And that's a really important thing. So we want you to have a growth mindset to accept failure. Now, here's the key differentiation, though. You don't accept failure and stay in failure. Right? You embrace failure and going, that didn't work, I need to do something else. You embrace failure by offering your suggestions in class, offering your ideas in class, and being wrong. That's how you learn. That's how you embrace failure. So the first thing you've got to do is adopt a growth mindset. You're here to learn. You're not here because you know it all. You're here because you have the capacity to learn in great ways. All right, action point number 2. As we look at this, we're going to say, all right, well, how are we going to implement this? We're going to say, well, don't worry about being smart. Okay, you're all smart. All right, that's the bottom line. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. So don't worry about being smart. Focus on the process of learning, and don't worry about avoiding failures. The other thing we want to look at is, now there's some physical things, and these are all research-based that we can do. All right, action point number 2, get some sleep. All right, sleep is actually where learning occurs. Okay, we think of it as in the textbook or studying or in the classroom, but actually the neurological connections occur when you sleep. So when you don't sleep, those neurological connections don't occur very well. So get plenty of sleep. Now, the flip side of that is also get cardiovascular exercise. Aerobic exercise, there are tons of research studies that say it changes things in the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex, all of these areas where memory and learning occur. Okay? So if you're not getting enough sleep, you're doing yourself harm from a learning perspective. And if you're not getting aerobic exercise, you're actually not doing as well. Actually, those areas of the brain are larger in people who get aerobic exercise. Okay? And it's also where connections occur. So if you increase the blood flow to the most demanding organ in your body, what happens with blood flow? Dr. Rod taught you all of this stuff, right? Wastes go away, and products come in, and like Krebs cycle and glycolysis, and oh my gosh, like all kinds of crazy stuff. But that all occurs much better with blood flow. So the third action point is to get aerobic exercise. And then finally, and I can't emphasize this enough, and I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this. Don't be a transcription zombie. What is a transcription zombie? This is someone who sits in class behind their laptop and typing everything that the professor says. If I could give you one piece of advice for your success, long-term success, remember we're okay with a little bit of failure, long-term success, take written notes in class. Here's why. If you are just writing down every word I have to say, right, that's a transcription. You use a computer most likely because it's faster, right? You can take more notes. Handwriting is slower. You can't take as many notes. So what do you have to do when you're taking notes by hand? You have to prioritize. You have to say, this is really important, and I'm not going to write this down because I don't think it's as important. Doesn't that sound a little bit scary? It sounds scary to the folks who are already. It's a little scary, right? Because what if you miss something, right? The dreaded fear of missing something important. And let me relate this directly to patient care. A patient will come to you and give you tremendous amounts of information. You will do an evaluation on a patient and you will gain tremendous amounts of information. The key thing that you have to do is prioritize what's important and what's not. And the only way to do that is to practice that daily. So taking written notes is the fourth action point that I can't say enough. This is essential to high quality learning. And then finally, have some fun. This is truly one of the best times in your life so far. You will have a lot of fun. You need to enjoy it. You need to enjoy your weekends. You need to take some time off. Don't work like crazy. That rest and relaxation really helps. So congratulations and welcome to the fall semester.
Thank you, Dr. Plisky. I would now at this time like to welcome our second speaker. She graduated from the UE DPT program in 2016, and she is now a therapist at Pro Rehab. So welcome, Brittany McCall.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am so happy to be here today and truly honored that I was asked to welcome the DPT class of 2019 into University of Evansville's physical therapy program. I want to start by congratulating you on making it to this point. You achieved your first accomplishment. You passed gross anatomy. This day will be your first of many accomplishments as you start your journey for the next 3 years. You all were chosen and accepted into this program today as individuals, but now you're joined as a group with one common goal. You see, whether or not you decide in 3 years to treat a child with cerebral palsy, a collegiate athlete with a torn ACL, a student with a traumatic brain injury, or an 80-year-old grandparent with a knee replacement, you are all joined together with the same values: compassion, empathy, integrity, and excellence. You're also joined together because you have the same purpose and the same desires: to impact people's lives. So before I continue on my journey here at UE, I wanted to give you just a little bit more background on myself. As she said, I recently graduated here from the University of Evansville with my doctorate in physical therapy. I graduated before that from the University of Southern Indiana. I was a transfer student. There, I graduated with my bachelor's in exercise science with a psychology minor. I was a student athlete there for 3 years on the women's soccer team. Currently, I work at Pro Rehab, and this fall I will pursue an orthopedic residency with the goal of becoming a board-certified orthopedic specialist. It's hard to summarize 3 years in only a few minutes. You'll realize that someday. I will warn you, the next 3 years are going to be hard. I remember times I was so overwhelmed with studying and frustrated with the never-ending group projects and anxious for practical exams. The one thing I can tell you, as Phil said, is just to remember to breathe, have fun. Take time for yourself, for your family and your friends. Exercise, enjoy your hobbies, and make sure you don't forget about your faith. And when you're in your biggest doubt, remember, all those who have come before you have endured the same emotions you have. I can promise you that. So, you're all here today, though, not for me to scare you anymore or be like, oh, woe is me, I'll never make it, because you will. You are here because this program is truly one of a kind. Many of you will become active members of ACE Care or Acercise, which if you haven't heard of, it's a pro bono student-run clinic that's recognized on the national level that it provides to this community. You'll create friendships in the next 3 years that will last a lifetime. You'll celebrate holidays, passing exams. You're going to spend countless hours together studying and preparing for practicals and presentations. And you're going to disagree more than once. But in the end, you're going to learn how to compromise with one another, which will gain a greater respect when you get to the point that you get to graduate with your hoods. No matter what, you'll find the ways to have fun. Ours were Mexican and ice cream. Finally, you have the opportunity to learn from some of the best professors in the country. You see, they have published countless textbooks and research articles, as you heard earlier. They've presented multiple presentations across the country and internationally. And most importantly, they will provide you with the support that you need to get through the next 3 years. They're the most hardworking, dedicated, and caring staff, whom I have the utmost respect for. On numerous occasions on my clinicals, myself and my classmates received feedback from instructors saying, students from the University of Evansville are well more prepared than any other students from universities they've had. So don't worry. I have faith you will pass your boards and do just fine on clinicals. So today you're all here for that one reason, to get your white coat and start your new journey. In the meantime, you might have to make some sacrifices the next 3 years in order to be successful. If I can leave you with one tidbit to remember, successful people do the things that unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. These next 3 years will come and go in a blink of an eye. And when you're in your last thread, just remember, you can do it, and you will. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Brittany, for taking the time to speak to all of us today. I would now like to welcome our next presenter. Her name is Molly Holthus. She is a third-year student in the DPT program here at UE, and she is also the clinic coordinator for ACE Care, and she will be giving us a short presentation about ACE Care, so let's all welcome Molly.
Hi everyone, I'm Molly Holtis, like Alyssa said, and I am the current clinic coordinator for ACE Care. So when I was 4, I had the opportunity to watch a leg of the Olympic torch relay. Despite this being nearly 20 years ago, I distinctly remember the look on my mom's face of pure joy as she watched the runner, a former patient of hers, who 10 years earlier experienced a traumatic brain injury. To be a physical therapist means to become a part of someone's life, to work with them through their injuries, to celebrate their victories, and to help improve their quality of life. I went to PT school in hopes of one day having an experience like my mom's, but I have been able to experience this much sooner than I realized through my participation with ACE Care. ACE Care is a student-run, pro bono physical therapy clinic, and we provide physical therapy care to the underserved, uninsured, underinsured, and homeless of the Evansville community. Each week, we have the privilege of working with patients in the clinic who otherwise would not be able to receive physical therapy care. We also get to work with individuals in the community who have had some sort of neurologic insult, but who would like to continue their rehabilitation journey through a community wellness program that we call Acercise. This year, we are opening this opportunity up to you, the first-year students. We want you to be introduced to the workings of the clinic and gain valuable patient interaction skills and be mentored by the second and third-year students. Through ACE Care, I have been able to celebrate the victories. I've been able to celebrate with one of our participants in Acercise when she passed her driver's test and got to go to the grocery store independently. I've also been able to be a support for my patients and their families as they learn to adjust to life after a stroke, for example. I have gained valuable knowledge when working through a treatment plan with the supervising physical therapists, and I have been greatly challenged both clinically and professionally in my role as clinic coordinator. There is nothing more valuable than hands-on experience as a physical therapy student and having the opportunity each week to make a difference in the lives of our patients. So, this Wednesday, tomorrow, we will be having a mock clinic day to allow you guys to be introduced to how we run the clinic. and exercise, as well as give you the opportunity to meet all the other student volunteers in this organization. So I look forward to working with all of you this semester and seeing you tomorrow at 3. So thank you so much and congratulations.
We will now begin the presentation of the codes, so I would like to welcome Dr. Schwarzkopf-Pfeiffer.
All right, you guys ready? Yeah, first row, if you wouldn't mind coming up the stairs, lining up here. All right, we have Stephanie Serino. Hannah Hoffman. Rebecca Spraggs. Rachel Berner. Lauren Berry. Brian Grant. Benjamin Carr. Michaela Kent. Trevor Schrock. Joseph Baxter. Paige Durfee. Mary Beth Garner. Austin Schafter. Annalise Trapp. Rudke. Kendall Sorrells. Janae Wagler. Caitlin All. Elizabeth Doherty. Courtney Hotelling. Charlotte Lechner. Megan Sampson. Sarah Steckwish. Taylor Atkins. Katie Bieber. Robbie Graninger. Ethan Hughes. Nicolette Junker. Marie Sandage. Alex Vaughn. Sarah Brewer. Josh Hayden. Riley Horlock.
match. Aaron Powell. Alexander Straley. And Preston Wagner. Congratulations to the DPT class of 2019 on receiving your white coats. I would now like to welcome Madison Burklow, a second-year student in the DPT program, for the reading of the APTA Code of Ethics, which can be found in your programs.
Students, would you please stand and join me for the APTA Code of Ethics? Physical therapists shall respect the inherent dignity and rights of all individuals. Physical therapists shall be trustworthy and compassionate in addressing the rights and needs of patients. Physical therapists shall be accountable for making sound professional judgments. Physical therapists shall demonstrate integrity in their relationships with patients, families, colleagues, students, research participants, other healthcare providers, employers, payers, and the public. Physical therapists shall fulfill their legal and professional obligations. Physical therapists shall enhance their expertise through the lifelong acquisition and refinement of knowledge, skills, abilities, and professional behaviors. Physical therapists shall promote organizational behaviors such as business practices that benefit patients in society. Thank you, students. You may sit down.
I would now like to welcome Rachel Harder, another second-year DPT student, for the thank you.
Congratulations to our new Doctor of Physical Therapy students. Your coats represent your achievements to this point and dedication to your future in the physical therapy profession. I would like to thank our faculty and staff for your continued support of both our students and this event. Thank you also to the family and friends of the students for supporting them in their journey so far. Your support means a great deal to your students' success, and it does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. As we dismiss, the rest of the ceremony committee and I would like to invite you all to a small reception just outside this room. Students, please stay near the stage for a class photo by our photographer before going outside for refreshments with your families. Parents, you may also take advantage of this photo opportunity if you would like. After the photo, each student should pick up a gift from the table at the back of the room. You guys will need these going forward in the program. Make sure you grab one of those. Afterwards, feel free to join your family and friends. Photographers will also be available to take individual photos just outside the room. Congratulations once again to the Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2019. Please join me in a round of applause for these students before dismissal.
Students, if you want to come up to the stage for your class photo.
I should say.
We're gonna have some of you all sitting. Are you in control? Try to sit and cross your legs.
Everybody close their eyes.
You want to hang your feet down? Yeah, you don't mean like your legs.
Can the back row get any closer?